Belgrade Beat, the pulse of the city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Belgrade Beat. We have had a spontaneous sort of interview with a band from the Netherlands who is on tour in Belgrade today for the third time. They're called My Baby, and they are here again in Belgrade. And welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And you know, I just was saying in the shout out we did on YouTube just a little while, it's really great to see bands like yours coming to Serbia. Really great to see, you know, young fresh bands, because normally we always get, you know, all these sort of bands, you know, that are 20 years old and headliners, you know, on the festivals. But to see your band coming and bring something fresh and sort of, you know, interesting is awesome for me, especially trying to, you know, make the music scene better here. So what are your impressions of Belgrade?
It's our third time, and I think it's the first time we come here in the summer. So the vibes are, there's summer vibes all around. So that's really good, and all the gigs we've had here so far were really good. And in terms of the audience being very receptive and you know, going wild, knowing what to do on our music. So it's been a good match so far.
Yeah, and you've seen that it's growing every time, right? There's more.
That's what you hope as a band. Like if you're not coming somewhere for the first time and then the next time there's less people, you know you did something wrong.
Yeah. And so the place you're playing tonight is Dom Omalidine, and yeah, it's one of the very nice places to play here, and it's a really good vibe, and I think the people are ready for this sort of fresh music. I mean, and so tell me a bit more about the style and how the whole thing evolved, and how is your music sort of, how, I know every artist has this idea of I just sort of do my thing and taking the influences. I'm the same with my music, but tell the people what you feel most passionate about this style of music while you're playing it.
Well, it kind of happened. We started more as a soul funk gospel blues band, and all along the festivals and gigs, we slowly got. Oh, actually, the first time we played on a festival, and then there was this DJ next to us playing pretty loud, and they were having a good party there, and we were kind of doing the sound check and getting into that groove. Like, oh yeah, we can do this too. We can just. People are dancing, and we kind of tried it as a joke, but then it got real cool, because we played like live analog live dance music, and it's the same
guitars and drums, so it's
just guitars and drums, so it got the same kind of effect. Of course, it got the same effect on people if you do it right.
So you view your music as something like you were inspired by this sort of electronic music that you were hearing, and the sorts of energy, like this whole thing of
the
people.
reaction with how people react on it. I mean, a lot of times also in dance or trance parties, people are, and they have a really good time. They have their own parties instead of just looking at the artist that plays, and just, you know, that's what DJs do.
It's about the vibe.
Yeah, and it creates like a communal. How do you say that?
Tribal vibe.
Yeah.
And connectedness in the room.
Yeah.
But that's also something that can come from live music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, but it's also a bit of a mix. But
and especially when you like a lot of times with bands, the difficulty is that it's hard to get into the same kind of groove as you get in with a dance party, because the dance party just goes on and on and on without stopping every 3 minutes to applaud, you know. So that's, I think, also the element that we thought, well, that also happened. We just didn't feel like stopping all the time, so we just kept on playing and playing, because you feel that you're onto something, you know, you're building towards, well, to get the audience like higher and higher, and yourself too.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this energy that builds sort of thing, and Okay, you can see it like with the folk music around the world.
Yeah.
And like here, we just started this vibe, and there's going to be a vibe for the next. We're in Skedalia, this is the place. They're still going to stop, but it's a vibe that's growing amongst people, and it's not so much about the music as it is about, you know, the people you're with and the drinks. And I think when I look at, you know, these bands that you hear about from the past, like, you know, Grateful Dead and the scenes that they built around themselves and the legends, it's all about not really being about, oh, look at me, I'm the performer, but bringing something to everybody in the room and making them feel a part of this tribal vibe.
Yeah.
So have those sorts of artists, like from the 60s and 70s, influenced your music in terms of that or other aspects?
Well, yes, of course, quite hugely. It's been. We have always watched a lot of those long YouTube concerts, and it's always those are actually always the coolest ones to watch, because you really see something happening in the audience, and you see people go crazy. You're like, what is it that makes people so lifted up?
Probably because they feel included in connecting with music, other people, the vibes, the message.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of, what would you say, and it's okay if you say there isn't, but a lot of people say, what is the message of your music? And that's a question the bands are always asked. What's your answer?
We started off more as some society, like protest song kind of, mostly protest song.
Against what?
Against bad people, bad things in the world, to make it better.
Anti-establishment. What does
Fight the power? Yeah, I mean, well.
Which power? Which as?
I suppose just.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. No, I mean.
Okay.
A protest song is protesting against the people that have the power at that point, that are not doing anything about something that you might feel is wrong apparently in the world, you know. So like
power in the wrong way, or people that have the power which did nothing to gain that power. Actually,
is this something that you view as a problem in your country?
It's a problem in probably every country. I mean, of course, less.
I agree.
Of course, like there's for other countries there might be way bigger problems than we have, but I think everyone, like maybe our country is more extreme in different ways than it is here.
I think having big power is kind of a disease. It's not even, people are not built to have power and over other people. It should be, because it's all societies need to be run. But as soon as they get the power, they're getting crazy, and I would go crazy too. So.
Okay, so that was where you started with protest songs and stuff. What did it turn into?
Kind of more, it's quite funny to. We're struggling talking about it. But if you sing a protest song, it's actually quite. You just sing it and people are dancing, and they're not even really. You're not having this conversation about it. The power in that message is giving you the power and giving everybody the power to keep on dancing. But second album and third album, we got more into psychedelic, poetic.
Let me be honest. I was last weekend in your country, in the Netherlands, and on Friday I took ayahuasca. And on Saturday I took mushrooms, and I've had a complete workover of my mind with psychedelic drugs in your country, luckily, where I can go to your country and do it without fear of being arrested or anything like that. Have psychedelics influenced your music? I'm not going to ask you details about your personal history, but have you had those experiences and they've
How high are you now?
Oh shit!
For me, the most psychedelic experience is performing.
I know.
She's tripping. She's like tripping.
It's
all the time.
Sometimes she just falls from the stage.
Well, we've all been there. Some of us never come back.
I mean, it's the coolest thing if you actually don't need psychedelic drugs to get like on a a trip or get on
500,000
journey.
jumping people is enough to do it for me, for sure.
Yeah. So that's quite addictive, a good addictive drug for us. But I mean, of course, it's influenced by getting on like getting into different mindsets or letting yourself get carried away.
But still it's different. There's more like an adrenaline kind of drugs, and psychedelic drugs is
that's what I'm talking about.
way more.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, cool. That's cool.
Do you view your music as sort of like an escape from your culture?
From our culture,
Yeah.
I think for Dutch, there's not a big Dutch music culture. There's some singers and some Dutch songs, and it's more like, but it's not like a real, like you know, if you ask someone on the street what's Dutch music, nobody will give you straight, like nobody would even give you an answer.
But like at the end of the day, I mean, you're living in the Netherlands, and do you feel like when you
there is
the
some-
psychedelic message for me was always all about going outside of the culture, and going outside of everything like that.
Yeah, surrender to some.
Do you travel with music even when you're at home in your bedroom?
Definitely. And of course, in the Netherlands, there's a lot of music lovers and a lot of musicians and seeing music festivals, and a lot of people maybe tripping out on anything because it's kind of more free to do so.
Okay, guys. Well, I wanted to ask you one more question. It's a little bit strange because I'm from Canada and I moved here because I just feel like this is a place for me, more free in some weird way that fits my personality. And since I've lived here for 5 years, I see the way that back home in Canada is changing. The things I read from England and everything like that. And recently, a couple days ago, I had this article that I was reading about cultural appropriation. This idea of
Tell us.
cultural appropriation is like some sort of politically correct idea that it's wrong for like us privileged white people or something to sort of appropriate parts of like the pinnacle example would probably be a white guy who has dreadlocks and wears Jamaican flags and like smokes weed all day and says I'm a Rasta. Is this a discussion in your country, and has this been asked of you before in your music? And
I mean, for us, you mean playing this kind of music?
Yeah, because obviously you're
hopefully
going
they missed it.
The roots are obviously in some places African American, amongst others, I'm sure.
But there's a lot of influences. There's also Asian influences. There's
It's kind of quite
Indian influences in our music. Like people always say world music, which is also quite a vague term, of course, because like then pop music would be world music because it's all music from the same world. But I get what they mean, and sometimes it feels you're like, you're this white band that plays it's inspired by rhythms from Africa, or it's like guitars from India,
but
or
that's
blues
beautiful.
from
For me it's beautiful, but some people are having problems with this, making
Are
arguments about that.
whiteys, are whiteys allowed to be funky? That's the question.
why are you
Is Casper Weinberg the bass?
I got the same shit. like-
Casper, turn this around on yourself. We got Casper Weinberg, producer of many different great acts here, filming us. So
We also got white rappers. They get away.
Yeah,
Some of them get
well,
away with it.
I don't know. The typical example is that I heard like Dr. Dre when he discovered Eminem, he had only the recording, and he said I listened to this guy, and then he showed up to the studio and he was a white guy, and I said, when I listen to this guy, I don't give a shit whether he's purple. Done.
A lot of people say it to me as well, oh, I didn't expect you, when they hear the recording, I didn't expect you were like a small white girl. And I'm like, okay, so...
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
Yeah, does it change? I mean, do you
What
like
inspired
it or
you?
not like
Inspired
it?
you?
Yeah,
It does change because
there's
listen to it.
perspective changes, of course, because they have something in mind. With a hear a voice, they have
But
something
then
in
they
mind.
don't know. They don't know you anyhow.
Well, I think
Doesn't
here in
matter how you
Serbia,
look.
people will just be very happy that, first of all, a band like you is coming, and second of all, that you would actually come back a few times, that you like the place, that you're building an audience here, because we need a lot more here, like you guys, to bring fresh energy. So thank you very much.
We'll always tell our befriended bands come over here. Because it's cool, and it's an adventure and a beautiful. Well, we play in many different countries, so that also gives us the vibe of being a bit like everywhere, cosmopolitan.
That's how you build.
More knowledge about
If you can do what you do, and it works in different places, you know you got
music.
something.
World music.
World vibe, worldly people.
Yes.
Awesome. So I wish you a great show tonight. Thank you for taking the time to speak with Belgrade Beat.
Yeah.
And Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Caspar, on the cameras over there.
Bye.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play and rock the house tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ciao. Belgrade Beat, the pulse of the city.